We're going to be talking about how to address sinus infections naturally with Evan today. Really excited. Good topic here. It's a common topic that people are experiencing, especially in the winter season. So we're going to go through it, what we got to do to heal fast from sinus infections naturally. Evan, how are we doing today, man?
Hey, doing really well. Why don't we start out with the
Great.
conventional approach? What is that? If you go to your ENT with a sinus infection, what are they doing?
Well, it depends. I mean, some are going to be more antibiotic hesitant and say, well, it could be a viral infection, right? Do you know almost a quarter of all antibiotics are actually prescribed for sinus infections? Do you
I
know that?
believe
It's
it.
crazy. So most of the time they'll wait and see how bad it is, see if you have a fever. Usually, like you have that punch in the face kind of feeling where your teeth are really starting to hurt, chronic headache, and then you're having a fever. Usually they're waiting 7 to 10 days, or if it's gotten better and then gotten worse again, and it's usually 7 to 10 days out with a fever, then they'll start to, typically prescribe antibiotics. Again, most sinus infections are viral, so you have to get to the root cause of that. So a lot of times antibiotics, won't work. The problem with antibiotics is you're swallowing it. It's going 2 or 3 feet away from the actual issue. So you're basically dropping a systemic bomb to instead of hitting a localized area. Now there are some more, I would say, functional based medical doctors that may do some kind of an antibiotic in a compounded powder, like an amoxicillin, something like that, in a suspended solution or powder, and they put it in a sinus rinse bottle like this, and then you can flush your nose with that. Better, right? At least it's more localized. We'll talk about some strategies using saline flushes and different things that I recommend to help get that under control naturally and not have to destroy your microflora in the gut. So that's a big thing out of the gate, which can be very helpful. I got a sinus infection last week from a viral infection that my kids brought home. I never have been exposed to so many bugs since I have two young kids, 2 and 4 year old boys that go to an outdoor wilderness school, and they bring stuff back home from from all of their classmates. And so I'm getting inoculated every single day. And so we'll talk about some of the strategies that I take so I can recover fast.
Yeah, I still hear a little bit in you. So what are you
Mhm.
doing? You mentioned you got some kind of tools on your desk there.
Yeah. So a couple things out of the gate. You want to irrigate or flush that area out. Can be very, very helpful. One, to flushing the viral particulate out. Two, we may add in some components to it to actually help kill what's up in the nose as well. So we have our saline. So you can either do Neilmed saline, which is really good. We'll put links down below. Neti Xlear. Xlear is really great. I'll kind of go back and forth between those. I have both. And so we'll take this and you'll add 8 ounces of water in one of these type of bottles. This is actually the best bottle. It's made by Xlear. It's Xlear's bottle. It's the best because of the plastic isn't cheap. So when you press it, it recoils really fast. So when you're doing good flushes, sometimes you're pressing and then you're having to let it reload, so to speak. And it's just a really good plastic. Some of the plastics are weak, so then it kind of just stays sunken in. So I also have the Neilmed bottle, definitely a cheaper plastic. And there's another bottle by Walgreens. It's even cheaper. So this one's okay. They give it away with like 60, 70 packets of saline. So it's pretty cheap. It's a nice bottle. I'll have like 3 or 4 of them lined up in my office sink. So when I'm in between patients, I'll just give it a good flush. And so we'll take the saline packet, we'll mix 8 ounces of water, we'll add it to it. And then I'll take either food grade hydrogen peroxide. You could do regular hydrogen peroxide from the drugstore. It's not as big of a deal if you're nebulizing it. Again, if you're flushing it, if you're nebulizing it, you probably want to go more food grade just to make sure any stabilizers are out. And then I typically just fill it up just enough to cover the bottom part of the cap. That's it. Just about that.
That's like a
Just
dash. I mean, just a
that's it.
tiny amount.
Yeah, and you went too much is if you put it into the water and then I would just pour it into the saline, my finger over it, and just shake it up. And then you did too much if you feel any kind of irritation or burn. So you can always start less and kind of work your way up. And then if you do too much, you can always just add a little bit more water to it and back off. So that's a good option right there. Other option I have is I'll do like my GI Clear 3 Silver, and I'll add a capful of that to it. You can do that. You can add just straight up betadine iodine. I've stopped doing that because of the orange color. It just stains. It's really annoying. So I'll go to like a clear, simple potassium iodine, which is good. Those are a couple of good options out of the gates. And so we'll basically irrigate 2 to 3 seconds of flow, clear everything out, blow your nose in between, 2 to 3 seconds of flow, blow your nose. That's a good way to do it out of the gate. Now, there's a couple of other strategies that you can do. So some of my sinus sprays that I'll use. And so I have 3 big sprays. So here's Xlear Rescue, which is a really good one because it has 6 different herbs in there. It has like Pardiarco, parsley, eucalyptus, oil of oregano, tea tree, right? So it's really good, 6 different herbs. And so what I'll typically do out of the gates, if you're new to using the product, I'll do it about 2 sprays in each nose about 10 minutes before a sinus flush. What I find is it starts to like agitate and release all the mucus that's kind of stuck to the inside of the sinus cavity. And so like 5, 10 minutes before, spray it, wait, and then do a sinus flush. I find that it releases things a lot better. So that's really good there. Once you're better with it and you feel more comfortable, you can do it after as well. Just see how you feel. If you're really, really inflamed too, there's another product called Xlear Max, which is a good one. The
I've
difference
not
is,
tried that one. I'm scared of that one.
yeah, well, the rescue one I think is like the strongest for like a killing perspective. The Xlear Max is more like anti-inflammatory. So
Okay.
the big difference is, the last one was grapefruit, by the way, in the rescue. Okay. And so in the Max, the difference is it still has the same saline, still has the same xylitol. So this has xylitol plus 6 herbs. Okay. Saline. This has xylitol, saline. The difference is it has aloe. So it's a little bit more soothing. All right. For the sinus cavity. It has the grapefruit as well, which so it still has some killing effects in it. And it has some capsicum, which is like a homeopathic anti-inflammatory. So this is like, if you're like the tissue's really inflamed, really raw, this is a better one. This one's really good for killing because of the different herbs that are in there. And then there's a regular one out there. I have it upstairs as well, where it's just the regular Xlear. And that's more for like people that have chronic sinus issues. You can use that more every day. And it's a little bit more gentle where it's just the xylitol and the grapefruit extract, and it has the saline. And again, the benefit of that, the xylitol, it really kind of knocks down some of the bacteria that could be there. It prevents biofilms from adhesing. So biofilms are like the protective shields that a lot of the bacteria use to protect against the bugs. So that's very helpful. And so the nice thing is if you do the saline, right? Oh, by the way, the water, reverse osmosis or distilled, make sure it's high quality filtered water. Do not use your general tap water. Very bad. So make sure it's really good. Don't even use like Brita water. It's got to be really good, clean, filtered water. Like every now and then I'll use the water out of my faucet because I have a whole house activated charcoal system. So it's still good. But I also have a RO system where my countertop is. So that's where we cook in and drink out of that water. So I use that 99% of the time. So I'll use that. I'll add the packet, fill it up, 8 ounces, packet, and then I'll add either hydrogen peroxide or silver. It's good to have a couple that you rotate through just in case there's some resistance, which is, meaning like there's some bacteria or viral resistance. It's good to have a couple of things there. And then I also have just a straight grapefruit and saline solution as well. This one's okay. It's gentle. And so those are good ways to do it. And I recommend start to do it before you flush, like 5, 10 minutes before, because a lot of times it just releases a lot of mucus and then it allows the flush to do really well. And then depending on how you feel afterwards, you can also try it after a flush and then give it a spray or so once everything's really clean and see how you do afterwards. So that's a good kind of start out of the gates. Of course, things like, N-acetylcysteine is wonderful. NAC is great. That helps with the inflammation, really helps drying up the sinuses. I'll do glutathione as well. I'll do high dose vitamin C. We'll add in some different nutrients, zinc, those kind of things as well. All the good immune nutrients, vitamin D, decrease all the sugar consumption. A lot of that's very, very, very helpful. And then I also have a red light in the office. And so I'll kind of go up against it and let the red light get in there because that's very anti-inflammatory as well.
Man, I should have paid better attention to the label on that Max. I was afraid of that one because I thought that one was more intense than the rescue. I've done the rescue forever. I kind of like the burn. You will get a little burn with that rescue one, but the way you talk, that Max is actually more soothing than the rescue. The rescue is more hardcore. So I need to try the Max. I've never experimented with it.
Yeah, I think the big thing in the Max is just people are already like more inflamed because
Mhm.
there's less killers in there. It's grapefruit. It's got the same sodium chloride. It's got the aloe, which is soothing, and then it has the capsicum. So I'll do that right now, actually.
That's very cool. And the question came in about colloidal silver. So in some of the rinses, you could do a little bit of silver. We also have talked
So I
about.
already talked about that. So I said you can do the hydrogen peroxide, add it, or like I'll do my nano silver, like my GI Clear 3 or some kind of a silver. So you'd add like a dropper or two worth of silver in there, which is what I have for there. So I have silver. You can do silver, you can do hydrogen peroxide, and you can also do some iodine. These are 3 good ones that you could do. You could also throw in like someone in the chat wrote about like oil of oregano or tea tree or some of that. Maybe overkill if you're already using the rescue afterwards or before because you're already adding that to it.
Yeah, and so we could do that in a nebulizer protocol too. So if we're doing a hydrogen peroxide or a glutathione or a silver nebulizer, that could be another sinus support.
Yeah, the problem with the nebulizer, I find it's deeper. It's better for like lower respiratory stuff. The problem with like the mucus that comes out of the nose, it's very tarry, it's very sticky, right? And so, what is the mucus? Well, you have one just mucus, which is clear, which is like your body trying to flush bacteria or virus out, and then you have the immune system interacting with the infection, and then the dead soldiers, right, of that fight, that battle, are essentially all the green and yellow. And so the more dead soldiers, right, the more battle, we go from like light yellow to yellow to darker yellow to green, right? So the darker, right, and the more chunky the mucus is, the more there's an immune fight happening up there. And so what happens is you have, not that this is the best analogy I can think of, is you have all these dead soldiers from the immune reaction just like sitting up there and sticking all to the sinus cavity, preventing breathing, oxygen exchange, and also some of that can eventually go down the eustachian tubes, which connect in the back, which can go to your ear. So then you can start to get an ear infection, and all that dead debris can also become like fertilizer for like a bacterial infection down the road. So you got to get it out. So the problem with nebulizer, it's in a vapor form, so it doesn't have the ability to push the junk out. And so with a nice bottle like this pressurized, you can come in there and you can really pull all that stuff out and push it out, where you're not going to get that with a nebulizer. So your nebulizer is going to be, you can still do it. I still did it daily, but it's going to be better for lower respiratory issues. And this will have all the same stuff in it a nebulizer will. The difference, you'll have the pressurized force behind it to really get it out, push
Nice.
it
Good,
out. That's the
good call.
difference. And there's some like, I mean, there's sometimes, I mean, I won't get graphic, but like I'll blow my nose. I'm good, right? I'm good. Go flush it out. And then there's twice the amount of junk left behind after the flush that what I couldn't even get out through blowing. And so you get a much deeper cleanse of the sinus cavity with this, because a lot of times you're getting stuff out literally in this upper forehead area in here too. And so you're just getting a lot better release.
Yeah, you mentioned NAC already, which NAC got banned from Amazon. So if you need access to it, Justin has some on your store, I believe. I've got a glutathione NAC combo. I do not have an NAC by itself. What do you have something to offer there?
Yeah, we have some different products. Like in my line, we have a detox amino product that has more other stuff in it. I just have a straight NAC here. There's a couple of brands that I'll go back before, in between 90% are out. So a lot of times I just have to get brands right now that I typically wouldn't get if we had a better supply chain with NAC right now. But yeah, we'll put a link down below. Anyone needs NAC, they can reach out to the office. But to highlight back on what you were saying there, NAC is super helpful. And then also there's a nasaline you can get, which is like a pressurized syringe, which is great. So you suck up the saline from the bottle. It's like a syringe. You put it up against your nose and you press it. That's helpful. Also, I find too, if things are really stuck, sometimes you need to go like pulsation. So you need to like squeeze hard, relax, squeeze hard, relax, squeeze hard, relax. Because I find that the pulsation sometimes will free up some of this mucus that's really tarry and sticky. And so that can be very, very helpful.
Knock on wood, I never ever get sinus infections,
I don't
and
either. This is my first time.
I don't know what to attribute them to. Like you said, is it an exposure? Is it a weak immune system? Is there a gut connection to it
No,
as well?
it's just part of the viral infection.
Mhm.
So viruses tend to go in two major areas. They go upper respiratory or lower respiratory, right? So a viral infection that goes too deep can eventually become pneumonia. A viral infection here can become a major sinus infection. And so by being on top of this, you have your tools. Your sinus flush is your best for your upper respiratory. Your nebulizer is best for your lower respiratory. And so you can prevent those things. Once you have a viral infection that's replicating, it's creating inflammation, you can prevent these things from going too far with those tools.
Well, that's a great point you just made, which is the possibility of it turning into pneumonia. So people listening are like, well, why should I care? Why should I try to do this and speed the process up? Why should I try to intervene? Well, because you don't want it creating more systemic inflammation or leading to something more serious, especially in a person who's 80 years old or above. That could create much more problems if they didn't treat while it was just up here and it went further south.
Yeah, and if someone's sick and they're trying to prevent, I think 2 to 3 flushes a day is good for like prevention, especially while you're sick. I think it can't hurt just doing a straight saline rinse once a day in general. I wouldn't add any killers or anything to it. Just a straight saline, I think, is fine, just to kind of keep your nose clean at the end of the day. You want to do that. I think it's fine. If you're sick, I'm going like every hour or two. I'm flushing my nose out just because it feels really good. It's really clean. And just as long as you're not irritating the mucus, it's isotonic solution. So you have like the sodium, the chloride, it has the bicarbonate in here. Those are the two major compounds, right? Like, so sodium chloride's basically your sea salt, right? And then you have your bicarbonate in there. So those are the two major ingredients. And then, of course, this is all like USP grade. So it's just really, really clean.
Yeah, and what
And
you
then,
mean by that for people listening, what you're saying is that that's pH balance, so it's not going to irritate your sinus cavity
yeah,
more.
you can't just take regular, like, clean water and put it in your nose. You will absolutely burn it and irritate it. It will feel like someone punched you in the face because of the mucus membranes need a certain pH and a certain level of sensitivity. So it's kind of like using eye drops, right? Same thing. You need to have like saline based eye drops. So this is, you're using sodium chloride, pharmaceutical grade, plus the bicarbonate, which is baking soda. That makes everything nice and balanced for the tissue. So when you flush it, it shouldn't irritate the sinuses, and it should allow it to feel nice and smooth and gentle afterwards. And then if you have some kind of infection brewing, even preventative for a bug, just add a little bit of silver or hydrogen peroxide in there, or a couple of drops of, some iodine. That'll give you just enough killing capacity to knock down any bugs that could be multiplying. But I'm going every hour or two. For me, it just feels really good, very soothing. It feels like plus if you blow your nose too much, you just get your nose all raw around the side. So it's nice to have a nice clean flush. I kind of call it's like a bidet for your nose, right? That's kind of how I look at it.
That's hilarious.
Right.
This would be a good strategy for travel too. So if you need
Oh,
something portable like the Xlua Rescue,
huge.
if you're on a plane or after you get off a plane, it'd be a good idea to boom, boom, do a couple sprays. That'd be great.
Oh, also amazing for kids. Kids cannot honk their nose, blow their nose worth a damn, right? They just cannot get a good blow in there. And you get these things in the market like a nose Frida, which,
Mhm.
we have one. You get like that deep in the cavity. We'll do the whole nose Frida thing, blow the nose, and then we'll do this with my kids, flush it out, and you will see so much junk come out. This is how kids get ear infections, right? If you look at sinus anatomy, once you go up about this far, there's this canal right here that goes straight to the ears, and it's called the eustachian tube. And with kids, it's a little bit flatter. Adults, it kind of angles up a little bit, so it's harder to get things uphill. With kids, it's a little bit flatter, so it's easy for the mucus and the junk to go into the ear, and then you have an ear infection. And of course, like, if your kids are getting ear issues due to food, sugar, and of course, higher, dairy products are going to create more mucus. More mucus in the sinus cavity can make their way. And so if your kids are more mucusy, one, make the diet changes, but two, get their nose cleaned out as well so it doesn't travel to the ear. And this is why you want the mucus cleared out, because if you let all the mucus and all this coagulation of all the immune soldiers, so to speak, stay up there, it can make its way to the nose, and now you have an ear infection.
Yeah, good point about the diet. I know we got to run here in a minute or two, but that's a good point about the diet. If you are looking for like preventative maintenance strategies, I mean, obviously you can't just live in a bubble and not get exposed to things, but you want to have the good foundation of your diet to reduce inflammation. I mean, so many people come in and say they have, quote, sinus problems. Really, it appears that they're food allergies, because once they clean up their diet, they get rid of gluten, they get rid of dairy, all of a sudden their sinus is clear. And
Yeah, and
so
if people have like allergies to the environment, one, have a really good high quality air filter. We recommend the Austin Air because it has the activated charcoal, the Zeolite plus the HEPA. HEPA is like usually standard in most. If you're on a budget, go with the HEPA to start, but definitely get one that has an activated charcoal Zeolite. The Austin Air, the filter lasts 5 years per replacement, so you don't have to spend as much money replacing it every 6 months. And the activated charcoal and the Zeolite filters out more toxins. But I'll tell patients, like, do a flush in the morning when you get up, do one after you're outside working, and then do one before bed. Just the saline's fine. You could do a little bit of spray, before or after. Try before. That's helpful. But just to get the allergens out, especially before bed, because if you have all these allergens way up here and they're creating inflammation, that could be a stress response during sleep. It's preventing you from getting deeper restorative sleep. And so the sinus can be flush really helpful, along with some of the remedies that we have here.
it's a good call. Well, if people need help, they can reach out. You can book a consult with Dr. J at justinhealth.com. So if you have sinus issues or other health symptoms, you want to talk, see what's going on, see if we can help, that would be justinhealth.com for Dr. J. Or if you need help from me, that's evanbrand.com. We're available worldwide. So most of these products we can get and we can ship to you. I know a lot of people internationally have trouble getting some of this stuff. Silver, NAC, some countries are just weird and it's hard to import stuff. But usually our team is great with logistics. So I think it's good to just have a stash of this stuff if you don't already. Don't wait till you get the sinus infection, then try to order it. Get it now. Get a kit prepped.
They have a bottle of it there. Someone said, can you do too much of it? I would say with It depends, right? I would say if you have an active infection, I think you're going to be fine. Just make sure the water's clean, RO, high quality water. Make sure you're using a good quality sodium bicarb. I think if the killers are making you more sensitive, right, you can always do your spray or killers before, and then do just the saline without anything in it after. So then everything's clean and flushed out. So then you don't have anything overly abrasive in your sinus after the fact. That's a good way to do it. And if that's still a problem, you could even just do a saline flush and not anything else after that. It's still better than nothing, just to get everything out of the sinus cavity. But worst case, do your spray before, and then afterwards, just the flush. And they have sprays that are just silver too. So I have a silver spray too. You can just do that. I'll do that for my kids sometimes because they'll complain about like just the feeling, a tiny tinge of a burn for like 10 seconds. And so I'll do the silver sometimes with them. Oh, by the way, my kid had a pink eye issue. Used the silver spray, opened his eye up. I just like this. I went gone in 2 days. So silver is
Nice.
excellent for some of the pink eye stuff. I would never do it with this. I would burn, but the silver is good.
Very
So hope
cool.
that helps. Hope that makes sense. Any other questions about that so far?
I think we got most of the questions answered here. There was one question about getting mucus after food, and these were things like yogurts, ice cream, soy sauce, wheat products. Well, yeah, I mean, it sounds like a food allergy. So obviously, I would clean up your diet. I don't recommend any of those foods. Maybe if it's like a coconut cream ice cream with low sugar, maybe. But beyond that, all of those foods to me sound like potential irritants.
Sugar and inflammatory foods, especially excess sugar and inflammatory foods, will cause mucus. That's part of the inflammatory response. And so that's just part of it. Yep. And that's part of the reason why people have sinus infections outside of just getting an upper respiratory tract viral issue.
Yeah, absolutely. How many people are going to the ENT and getting like a paleo diet prescription? Probably not many.
No, and they're going to just recommend steroids, Flonase, Nasacort, steroids, antihistamine. They're not going to really ever get to the root cause. That's a problem. And so it's really good that people are bringing these things to the light. You know, this guy, Dr. Mehta, I think it's Dr. the NeilMed guy, he's really been on top of it, which is great. I mean, this is an MD that's talking about using really good options to clean out your nose. And then, you know, having more of these sprays together is really good, and having things that you can add to them. I mean, just amazing. And a lot of these viruses live in your nose. So preventatively, we can be on top of it. You're out with a bunch of people, you know, instead of being overly worried about washing your hands, which, you know, that's fine. Wash your hands, but flush your nose. Easiest thing, flush your nose.
Totally more valuable, in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah. So, guys, to reach out to Evan, evanbrand.com. Evan's available worldwide for health consultation support. I am as well, Dr. J, justinhealth.com. We are here to help you out. We'll put some links here. Give us a little bit of time. We'll put the links down below very soon so you can see some of the products that we use. Also, we'll put some of the products that we also recommend from our own store so you guys can get an idea of what we like. All right. Any questions? Feel free to put them in the chat. We appreciate it. Share with family and friends that could benefit, and have a phenomenal day. Take care.
Take care. See you next week. Bye.